Mm.
All right, everybody, welcome to a new episode of For the City. We are going to do week 5 wrap up. It wasn't a good week. But I'm your host, Francisco, and my other host is.
Chef Boy Ortiz.
So both teams lost. Your team lost more so that they shouldn't have lost the way that game proceeded. My team, like I said, I called it. My score was pretty close to what it ended up being. They stayed in the game until Daniel Jones decided, thinking he was going to be Superman and headbutt somebody and got himself a concussion. But let's start off with your game because there's too many follies in my game to start talking about it right now. I need to gather my thoughts on that. But the Browns, they lost by a touchdown in the last 2 minutes of the game?
I was, basically they had a minute and 30 something seconds left to get it down the field and get the win. So under 2 minutes left. But I like to say they lost in spectacular fashion. Just this is the way the Browns lose games. It'd be one thing if we lost games to better teams, and I can live with that. I can live with just your run of the mill, just bad game. Everybody played bad and we lost the game. But the most frustrating is the ones that you should have won, and you basically snatched the victory away from yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it was rough, man. That game was more frustrating than the Kansas City game, really.
But you can't put that on Baker, though. That game, you couldn't put that game on Baker. She had no turnovers.
No.
He threw for 2 touchdowns. He did everything he could. Your defense couldn't stop anybody. Your defense couldn't stop anybody. To me, it came down to, it wasn't the offense. The offense put up enough points to win that game. Your defense, your heavily paid defense, couldn't stop anybody.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up right away, because I made it a point. Like, this is going to be the last time I'm talking about Baker Mayfield and his ability to win games or not. Anybody want to talk to me about Baker Mayfield, talk to me at the end of the season, or talk to me when we on a 4-game losing streak or something like that. I'm so sick of the debate. He's good. He's not good. He's great. He's great. The fact of the matter is, like you said, he had nothing to do with that decision, and it shouldn't even have came down to that. It should have been us up by 20. We had a double-digit lead coming into the half. Every time we had the ball, we came back and scored. Every time they scored, we scored. And at the end of the game, at the end of the day, like I said, Baker can't do no right. He's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? He could have put up 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, and we lost the game because he didn't drive down the field with a minute and 30 seconds left, no timeouts. He's getting compared to Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady would have did it. Aaron Rodgers would have did it. Well, every game, every circumstance, every factor is going to be different. So if y'all want to talk to me about Baker Mayfield not being the right quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, or thinking that he's trash, whatever your opinion may be, like I said, talk to me when we look at those W's, because that's what he does. All he's done is win, and that's what I care about. That's the column in the category that I care about.
But the one thing about that game that I told you that the Browns could not afford to do was what? Go tit for tat.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's exactly what they did. They went tit for tat, and I told you how that was going to end up. I picked the Browns to win that game. It was close because they were up by 6.
They should have. They were up. They missed the extra
if they'd have held that. If they'd have held that, I would have been right about my prediction about them winning by 2 field goals. Yeah. But I told you guys, and we talked about it. I said the Browns cannot afford to go tit for tat with this kid. He's something special. He is. He's something special. He's got the talent that he has is mind blowing. But when you guys started when I seen the touchdowns going back and forth, I'm like, Browns are in trouble. They gave
I said it at half, man. I was talking to my uncle. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a shootout. As soon as I seen how it was going, I'm like, yeah, our defense is playing well, but this ain't gonna be that game. This is gonna be one of those shootout games. And I was afraid that it was gonna come down to a game-winning drive like that. And the reality is, my 2 biggest factors in determining that game. And I don't want to sound like a Homer Brown fan and this and that. The penalties, it was so disproportionate. There was I forget what the totals were, but the amount of penalties that were called on the Browns compared to the Chargers was ridiculous. There was that one huge penalty on 4th down. I know people say it was still 5 minutes left in the game and they could have went either way, but that penalty right there would have gave us the ball on our side of the field. We would have at worst, we should have kicked the field goal and been up 2 scores with maybe 3 minutes left in the game. That changes everything. So people who said, "Oh, don't blame the refs," you could have still won. No, that made a huge that gave them momentum. It changed things around. It kept them in the game. We could have ended it right there, in my opinion. And then Stefanski, man.
You got to understand too, the home team is always going to get the advantage of the calls. Period. Yeah, those going to get the advantage of the calls. Man. I mean, you're in LA. You're not going to get the calls, bro. It's not going to happen. Home team's always going to have the advantage when it comes to the calls, but it shouldn't even came down to that. That defense should have prepared better. Okay, offense was fine. Offense was clicking on all cylinders, man. It's the defense.
Tell you, we had some injuries. We had some people go down. Clowney didn't play. You know, our 10-man Denzel Ward, which I would not pay that dude a dime. I would say goodbye, Denzel, after the season or whenever his contract is up. I'm sorry. You can cover. He's fast. The best ability is availability. If he can't stay on the field and be healthy, and you got this dude playing for 4 or 5 games a season, missing half the season, I can't. I'm done with Denzel, man. I'm done with Denzel. But there was a lot of factors as far as that goes, especially on the injury front. But my thing, Stefanski, man, he tightened up, man. I'm starting to feel like there might be something with Stefanski in these close games where he just does not want to just let it loose, man. Spread the field. You got Odell Beckham, man, just calling to get the ball. You got all these weapons. You got Donovan Peoples. Man, you got to spread it out and go for the win, man. He just played it so conservatively. I just didn't like that, man. I know we got 2 workhorses back there, but I really hated that play calling towards the end of the game. It just felt like he was trying not to lose the game instead of win the game, which is always going to make you lose the game.
I don't know what the deal is with Beckham, because I thought they were building chemistry when he had the 77 yards last game with them.
Yeah.
But this game, he was invisible basically the majority of the game. I think he had one good catch. That was about it. And speaking of can't stay on the field, we already talked about the calamities of the Cleveland Browns. Let's switch over to my Giants. Wow, that was epic in all facets. You lose your quarterback to a concussion because he decided to try to run into and I can understand him trying to run for the touchdown, but you lowered your head. And then you got hit helmet to helmet and you're walking around loopy. Took him out because of the concussion. Saquon, you talking about Denzel Ward can't stay on it. Saquon can't catch a break, man. He rolled his ankle. X-rays came back negative. There's no break. So they're saying it's a high ankle sprain. He'll be out for at least till November at some point. Galladay is gone with a knee injury. I'm still trying to get the update on that, see how long it's going to be when he comes back. Shepard is out. Slayton is out. They're in pieces.
Mash
man.
unit. Yeah,
mash unit ain't the word.
Yeah.
They kept it close. They kept it close. They did keep it close because they were only down. It was 10-10 at one point. And then when Daniel went out, it was a wrap. Because what is Mike Glennon going to do? He threw 2 picks in that game. He came in, threw 2 picks in the game, 1 for a touchdown, return touchdown, I believe. Man, I don't know what to do with this team. I can't keep putting the blame on Garrett because this is not Garrett's fault. The more I sit back and the more I realize this, Garrett has the pieces. It's a bad year, man. These guys you can't help injuries. Something's got to be,
man.
But it's not even fluky. What I think it is too, man. They need to fire their conditioning coach. I mean, seriously, man. Like, how do your guys? I understand injuries happen, but damn, man, like everybody's going down, bro. Like everybody's going down. And then you had Tony, who he has a sprained ankle as well, but at least
huge game.
He had a huge game. He broke Odell's rookie record, but he came back in the game. He'll be back for the game next Sunday. But still, man, and then Dallas thought,
well, they're getting them involved. Yeah.
What did Dallas think?
Oh, go ahead.
Dallas is jumping around thinking what they accomplished. So you beat a mash unit team. Like, I don't know why they're jumping around because the game was close. If Daniel Jones would have stayed in the game, I think the game would have stayed as close as it was before he went out. So for them to put up, as many points as they did, and they're dancing around thinking, "Oh, you didn't accomplish anything. You beat a bad team. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do."
Injured bad team.
On top of that, an injured bad team.
Well, it was like I told you. I predicted that it was going to be a tight game, that they were going to play them tough, and that they were going to shot. And it was looking that way.
It was looking
that way. In the first half, and I'm just like, I was about to call you and text you, man. Like, look, these dudes is for real, man. They came to play. And then boom, Barkley goes down. Boom, Galladay. Boom. I'm like, oh my God. Then I just start flipping back to my game, and I'm watching the score just go up and up and up, and I'm just like, ooh, man, that was rough, man. I felt like they had it. I think it was there, and that was just some unfortunate stuff, man. Like I said, that those kind of losses, like as frustrating as they are, and like I said, that's long term stuff because of injuries. But that kind of loss, you can explain that. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, the bright spot was Tony, man. That dude balled out. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to come into his own, and hopefully, like you said, they realizing what they got with him, and they're gonna use him even more.
But Joe Judge,
but you need.
Oh, sorry, but Joe Judge, he befuddles me because how he's gonna say that that Tony wasn't ready to come on the field at one point, and I'm like, I knew this kid the minute this kid came out of college. I knew how explosive he can be. Like if anybody saw the tape on this kid, his yards after catch is what he does, and he did that in that game. Like I don't know what's going on with Joe Judge. I think he's letting too much of his Belichick mentality slip in a little bit too much. And he's not allowing he's not coaching in the way he should be coaching, which is his style. He's trying to be too Belichickian, and it's not working for him.
Yeah, I think that could be just what it was, maybe to get him psyched up or pumped up. Maybe like I said, I wasn't into Giants training camp too much and didn't really get to see what was going on there. Maybe he was a little lackadaisical and just wanted to light a fire up under him by saying that kind of stuff and do that. I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? The reality is he knows what he got now. And I said it's just unfortunate, man. Like you said, they got that win. They got the monkey off their back, and it seemed like they were starting off the game like they're about to get something rolling. And, now it's like one step forward, two steps back. So, we'll see how it goes next week. It ain't going to be any easier. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things, man. That's a tough loss, man.
So let's switch into that. Since we brought it up, let's switch into that. Let's talk about next week's games. Browns. What do you see coming for that game?
I just like I did. It's like I felt after the Kansas City game, man. I think it's not a revenge game. I think it's an anger game. But the only difference between this game and the one after the Chiefs game, we got a lot of injuries, man. We got a lot of people on the defense still nicked up. I think we might get Juice back. We might get Landry back. That's going to help out a lot. I mean, the good thing is our offense is all pretty much there. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's good to go on offense. I think defensive wise, it is nervous. It's a strong offensive team. Cardinals come in there with the number one passing team. I mean, they got 3 receivers that can ball out. You know what I'm saying? They got a quarterback that's been showing out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people talk about, that height and stuff, and not being able to throw over the line and things like that. And look at that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I think it really just depends on how our defense plays again this week. I think we can score on them. I think we're going to score on them. They're hurting too. They got a couple of their main defensive guys injured. I think that linebacker, I can't remember what his name is. He had COVID, so he may not be in their game. He's one of their best playmakers on defense too. So he had like the most sacks on the team or something like that. So, it's going to be another game where I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But really, it's just going to come down to attrition, man. If our secondary is as bad as it looked last week, man, it's going to be a long day, and we just going to have to outscore them.
So a lot of people make the comparison between Murray and Jackson.
Like Lamar?
Yeah. Lamar, yeah, from Baltimore. And I say the only difference is that Murray can actually throw from the pocket. Like he can actually throw from the pocket. Lamar runs a lot more than Kyler Murray does. Kyler Murray can run, but he throws a lot more from the pocket. Your issue is going to become if he has to put that ball, he has to tuck that ball and run, or you're going to be able to stop him. You know what I mean? Because he can beat you with his legs and his arm. And you're right, he's balling out. Their team is 5-0 right now. They're they're one of the undefeated teams left in the league. I mean, they're killing it right now. Everything's clicking on all cylinders for them, but I think this might be a trap game for them. And the reason I say it might be a trap game because they're going in super confident, but the problem is they know the Browns can put up points like they did last week. So Arizona's defense has been good, hasn't been great. You know what I mean? It's bend, not break. But if the Browns can put up those type of points, I think they have a shot. It's going to be a lot closer for me. The game's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think it's going to be because everybody keeps saying that because Mayfield is hurt. that they're going to probably lose that game by 7. I think. What's the spread? I think the spread is
I thought Vegas had them as favorites. I think Vegas got Cleveland as favorites.
They got
Last
Cleveland.
time I heard it.
Well, you know how Vegas is, man. They
check
change.
Yeah.
They always flip it one way or another. But I see the Browns winning that game. But it's going to be that game. I'm going to tell you right now is going to be a shootout game. I promise you that game is going to be a shootout. You're going to about to see the same score. You're going to see high 30s in that game. I think it'll be like 35-33 Browns. 35-33 Browns win that game.
Yeah, my keys to the game is really going to boil down to like two main things. Are we going to be able to keep scoring on their defense? That's not great. That's not good. We got to keep up with their score because I don't think we're going to be able to shut them down. I think, that defense we saw 2 weeks ago when we just shutting teams down, I think we have the potential to do that, and we will get back to that when everybody's fully healthy. Mm-hmm. But like you said, this week's going to be a high-scoring game. And the turnover thing, I mean, that was the first game we lost, when we didn't turn the ball over since Stefanski's been the coach. And, it was a fluke thing, man. I think we should have won that game. And this game, it's going to be the same way. A lot of Arizona's success has been on turnovers. They got a lot of interceptions. They got a lot of fumble recoveries. Like I said, their defense isn't great, but they turn the ball over a lot. When you get the teams to turn over the ball, that causes, points on the other team. So if they can keep the ball, don't turn it over just like that's been the winning formula and keep scoring, I think we should be able to win this game. It's just going to be, it's going to be a close, high-scoring game. And I just hope, man, our secondary is just,
what do you see?
I'm scared.
What do you see it as? What do you see it as?
I'll probably say another like 35, 38 games, something like that. I think we could put up 38 on them. And like I said, I think they'll be right there with us. I just think it's going to be back and forth. Just like that's how Kyler and Baker were in college, man. I mean, that's just it. That they got a friendly rivalry. Those two guys know each other, and Baker already talked it up, saying how him and Kyler are already talking trash. So it's definitely going to be a shootout.
So
38-35.
My dark horse in this game is going to be Beckham. This is going to be Beckham's breakout game. You watch and see. Beckham's going to score over 100. He's going to go over 100 yards in receiving, and he's going to have at least one touchdown in this game. I think he's going to be the dark horse. Nobody's going to expect it. So, because everybody's making noise about trading him and all this before the trade deadline, and I'm telling you, Beckham is going to be the one that's going to help put the Browns over the top in this game.
That would be huge, man. I mean, the way if we're at home and if Beckham scores, especially if it's like the first touchdown, if Beckham gets in the end zone on like a deep ball or something like that, which I pray to God, Stefanski, just throw the ball deep to him, man. Don't get cute with it, man. Just send him on a go route, go max protect, let him do his thing, and just lay it out there and let him go get the ball, man. I just want him to go out the first play of the game. Just do like one of those little half rolls where you play action and give Baker all the time in the world. Let Odell go down the field and just air it out, man. First play of the game, because that would be huge. That would set the crowd off, and I think that would be huge.
So let's shift it over. Man,
what was your score? What do you think it's going to be?
Oh, it was 35-33. Browns win by 2.
35-33.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
35-33. So let's shift over to the Giants. Man. I don't even know what to say at this point. I don't even know what kind of prediction I can make for them at this point right now. Even if Daniel comes back, who does he have to throw to right now besides Tony? And Tony's not going to be 100% right now for that game. So let me get your thoughts first on what you think.
Man, like I said, it's just, they're schizophrenic, man. I mean, like you said, what can you do when you're putting up, you were getting the momentum, you're getting points and things like that, and I just don't think they're gonna have it this week, man. I think it's gonna be tight, and I hate to say it, man, but I think they're gonna get rolled, man. I just think they're gonna get rolled. Like, what are they gonna do? What can they do on offense, man? I mean, it's just nothing they can, in my opinion. But I don't know. What you think, man? That's your squad, man.
What you think the final score is gonna be?
No, you tell me first, man. Why you give me? Nah, man, it's your squad.
No. I want your opinion first. Let me get your opinion on what you think it's gonna be, because I already know what I'm gonna say. Giants only gonna put about 10 points in that game. I don't think they're gonna put up many because they have nobody to throw to. Who's gonna run the ball for them? Their offense is gonna be just at a stalemate. They're probably gonna put up 10. I don't foresee them putting up any more points than that. You know what I mean? They're not healthy. They can't stop anybody. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the throw. They're, like I said, they're very good first half of games. And it was evident against Dallas how good they are in the first half. Their defense can stop anybody the first 2 quarters of the game. But then after that, forget about it. It's open season on the Giants. So I don't think they're going to put up many points in this game. I just don't.
Yeah, I agree. A field goal. I say 15-3. No, I say 24-3. 24-3.
You think that? I think they'll put up 10 points. I think it'll be more like 30, 33, maybe 10, 33-10. That's going to be I have no hope for the Giants in this game at all. I just don't. Yeah. I don't foresee them doing anything. I mean, at the end of the day, to me, this is a lost season. There's no way you can get this season back. This is not like last year when they had more momentum going into the end of the year and you thought, this is something that can continue. No, man, it's been once they lost that game against Washington, the way they lost that game, it just – and then they just keep losing games that they shouldn't lose, man. And it's just the injuries keep piling up, man. I'm just disheartened right now. I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel until they get rid of Gettleman. They have to get rid of Gettleman in order for this team to succeed. I just don't see another way. You still haven't gotten Daniel Jones any protection.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the line is huge, but like you said, man, it's a mental thing, man. Like you said, you're disheartened, but the players are the same way. You know what I'm saying? These dudes is just like us. They're human beings. You know what I'm saying? They kind of see what's starting to happen. And as the losses pile up and as injuries pile up and everything like that, it's just a snowball thing, man. And then you start getting players like thinking about, all right, man, what I'm going to do to get my contract? What I'm going to do to get through the season, or I don't want to get injured. You know what I'm saying? You start having people that might lay out for a ball and make a one-handed catch or dive, or what Jones did. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was playing to win the game.
Yeah, he was playing to win the game for sure. And I give Daniel Jones a lot of credit because he was trying to ball out. And I think he would have been, if he wouldn't have lowered his head, they would have had a chance to score a touchdown in that game, and maybe on the next series. But I mean, he decided to be a crash test dummy and lower his head. And then now my thing is, everybody's saying that he initiated that. I don't think he initiated that because the player that was on top lowered his head too low. So I don't know how he wasn't fined for that.
Something. Yeah, it was definitely
because if you look at the replay, Daniel's head was going down. Mm-hmm. The other receiver was right on top, and he lowered his head as well. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
anytime
it was helmet to helmet.
Quarterback. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Like Saquon's out. Like I said, they'll probably put up 10. They'll probably put up 10. I mean, what offense do they have? They have nobody. Tony's probably going to be, and now knowing that he's probably going to be the only receiver going to have in the game, they're probably going to double him because they know how fast he is. They're going to double him. Like who you
don't have a complimentary receiver, that makes it tough. Without that complimentary receiver, that definitely makes things tough.
I mean, you have Shep saying that he should be active for the game, which is cool, but Shep, to me, he's still more of a slot receiver than anything else. He's not one of your main guys. Slayton, I don't know what's going on with him, but it's to the point, man, where it just gets. You have to find the energy to talk about a team that's losing. The only thing I can say is we're not Detroit. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
We're not the Lions.
Some heartbreaking L's, man. Yeah, those some heartbreaking L's. You can't.
I mean, at least I know my team is not going to go 0-17 this year. At least I know they have a dub. I mean, the benefits of this is they'll have a top 10 pick. Hopefully they can, turn that into a offensive lineman. I don't think they're going to pay Saquon. They might have to, though, just to save face on the draft pick about picking him. So they might have to pay him. But he ain't going to get buku. I don't think he's going to get buku dollars. What I want to talk about is because the Browns were the sexy pick this year. People want to run their mouth about it. So the Giants were nobody's pick this year. Giants weren't expected to win the division. They were picked to finish last in the NFC East, which is coming true. But the Browns were supposed to finish, one of the favorites for the AFC. So I don't know. Time will tell. To me, it's still kind of early in the season. We're coming up on game 5.
It's too early. It's like I said, man, it's the flash. They want to see, well, here's Lamar Jackson, tearing up the league, running and throwing and this and that and all that kind of. But like I said, Lamar came to a Ravens organization that had won Super Bowls, that had a winning Super Bowl coach, that had a winning defense, a winning franchise. Russell Wilson came to the Seattle, Seahawks, a winning franchise, winning team. Patrick Mahomes. Who knows what Patrick Mahomes would have been if he came to Cleveland? That dude went to a winning franchise team where Alex Smith took them dudes to the playoffs. Alex Smith had Kansas City looking good. Mm-hmm. He came to a team with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he went to a terrible team. And he had Andy Reid as his head coach, who loves to throw the ball, is one of the most creative offensive coaches of all time. So everybody just discounts the situation. The situation matters, man. If they had the same adversity as Baker had his first 4 years, would they have been what they are today? Lamar might not even be in the league right now. He might be dead right now in ICU playing on an 0-16 team, getting destroyed because he got nothing to do but to run all day. Like, he has options with Baltimore. So it's
the same thing, man. It's the same thing. It's the same thing in New York. Like, you're not giving Daniel Jones a chance to show you what he has, and he's giving you glimpses and showed you what he can do if he has a proper offensive line, the proper pieces around him. He can run, he can throw. You know what I mean? If you see when he keeps the ball in his hands and he's not fumbling or intercepting the ball, he can play. Just like anything else, man, it's the medias, and they always turn their own narrative to when they want to turn it. But we'll see the rest of the season. Like I said, I have no hope for my Giants this year, but we'll keep coming on. I believe it's Game 6 this coming week. Is it Game 6?
It's week 6. Yeah.
Yeah, week 6. Yeah,
yeah.
It's week 6. So we'll see what's going on with them. But all right, folks, this has been For the City. As you can tell, I'm not too ecstatic about the way my team is going right now. But your team still has some hope, and hopefully they can, get back on the winning track again against my mind just went blank.
Arizona.
Against Arizona and Kyler Murray. Yeah. And hopefully they can pull the upset. And it'll be one of the biggest upsets of the season, though, if they can give the Arizona Cardinals their first loss of the season. So we'll see. So I'm Francisco.
And I'm Chef Boy.
And we will see you folks next week.